Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Mac, Jack, and Jim This Week in Sports Show. We're live right now on Roku, YouTube, and Facebook, other places later. My name is Mac. I'm kind of guy that kind of intermediates and sets things up with the historian, Jack Hirsch, who is also a Hall of Fame boxing writer and former president of the Boxing Writers Association of America. But he's also a great sports guru. He knows a lot about sports, and that's why we have him on, especially pre-1920s. We also have the legend, Jim Jeffcoat. To me, the greatest Dallas Cowboy defensive end in history of the Cowboys, member of the 100 sack club, and soon to be in the Hall of Fame, I feel. So good morning, guys. How you doing?
Hey, good morning. I'd like to know how many pressures Jim had throughout his career, pressuring the quarterback, whether they kept a stat on that or not. You know, how many times the quarterback was forced to throw early. Him and the other guys in the 100 sack club. I'd like to know like a pressure number.
That is a good point. And does it pressures count if I'm pressuring the long snapper too?
Well, people out there listening before the show, I'm a little bit in a state of shock. Jim was questioning, my football knowledge because of my admiration for long snappers.
I think that's one of Jack's secret. I think that's one of his world. I would imagine that he sits there and dreams about way back when if he could have just learned how to snap the ball long.
Yeah, he would have been. He still would have been playing probably.
I think Jack.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a punter. I got a football.
Yes.
I kept punting and getting the ball. And it wasn't hard to get the ball because it didn't go too far after I punted it. So I gave up on it.
You guys are thinking small.
Yeah.
If I'm going to dream about something, I'm going to dream about being the owner. Forget all the other stuff.
Got that right. So, guys, let's get to the Major League Baseball standings. Got a little talk about something else, too, before Keith comes in here and we start discussing what he covers. So, let's start with the Yankees are at 58-21 now. They just swept a pretty good team, the Cleveland, what do they call them now? The Guardians. They swept two games. Right now, the Blue Jays are at 44-35. Boston at 43-35, and the Rays at 40-36. So right now, almost at the halfway point. The Yankees are 58-21. I don't know if they can keep this up or not, but you know something? I mean, why not? I mean, they're just playing unbelievable ball now. Pitching, hitting, they got everything going on all cylinders. So
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, at this pace, they're going to be close to the most games ever won, correct?
Yes.
In a regular season. But what scares me about the Yankees is watching them play Houston. Houston's better than I thought they were. And I know that is the one who's going to challenge them.
Houston's a great team, great organization. There'll be great games. I just think that right now, it really doesn't matter to the Yankees or Houston what happened there. Maybe more for Houston than the Yankees. I don't really think that the Yankees are really worried about it. I think they'll wait till they play them at the end of the year. I think all that'll be gone by then, Jim. I think so anyway. They're two great organizations. Another interesting thing is that Judge, Stanton, and the first baseman, Rizzo, all have over 20 home runs.
Yes.
The only team in baseball to have that right now. And Stanton right now is the first one to get to 20 home runs in the history of the Yankees at this point. So
wow.
a lot of good things going on over there right now, Jack.
I just want to say a little side note, and then we're going to get back to the Yankees. The St. Louis Cardinals set a major league record yesterday with 4 consecutive home runs in the first inning. Okay,
Yep.
so in the history of baseball, that was never done before. That
and they almost lost. And they almost
6. Yes,
almost lost. And I think they can walk off to win that. So that's really interesting too.
I can't make any sense, Mac, getting back with the Yankees out of this run. You know, Chapman comes in out of the bullpen. He struggled. He's been out with an injury. Clay Holmes has been great for the Yankees. I mean, people have been stepping up, and it's incredible. They're going to have to make a decision with Joey Gallo in left field. You look at his average, 161. And I don't want to hear when a guy's hitting 161, well, he's doing other things. He's doing this, he's doing that. And they have Miguel Andujar, who they just brought up, who wanted to finally be traded. He's had enough with being sent down to the minors. So they feel a certain pressure from an unhappy Miguel Andujar. And despite what teams say, if the player's unhappy and expresses it publicly, the team feels a certain amount of pressure, even though they have him under contract. They want to make the player happy. They don't want the headache. So they're going to have to make a move. So I have a feeling Joey Gallo is going to be released or traded or something to accommodate
look,
because I don't see them sending him down again to the minors.
Look, Hicks played a decent left field. He also added 2 base hit single to put the Yankees ahead. So he's playing okay. I mean, he's not.
How about Joey Gallo here?
I know who you're talking about. I really don't care about Joey Gallo either way, Jack.
Not even acknowledging him. That's how little you think.
You know, he's a bench player. He does
They've
things.
been starting him, Mac. What do you mean a bench player? They've been starting him.
He's a bench player, Jack. Really. I mean, I go ahead, Jim.
We're talking about all this, but the problem is we know the Yankees are 58-21. The problem is on the other side of town in Flushing with the Mets. They're only 2.5 up on the Braves. That is the concern.
So let's get through this. So we already got Keith backstage. He's really excited about coming in today. I know that. That's a big news with the Knicks too, and we'll get to that with him. So over in the Central right now, you got the Twins at 45-36, Cleveland dropping to 39-36, and the West right now is just Houston at 50-27, having a good year over there. In the East, as Jim said, they're 48. Mets are 48-30. Atlanta is 46-33, only 2 games back now. Philly at 41-38 after that rough loss to the Braves. Milwaukee at 45-35. St. Louis at 44-36. And in the West, you got the Dodgers at 48-28. San Diego 46-34, and San Fran at 40-36. So, I mean, right now, again, if it stopped today, you'd probably have the whole American League East in the playoffs. And between the Dodgers, their division, and maybe St. Louis or Milwaukee, you're going to have most of those teams in too. So really interesting right now, almost at the halfway point where they're going. And before, let's bring Keith in. We can talk about what I want to talk about earlier.
Is it Keith scheduled to come in a certain time? Is this an open door policy, Mac?
No,
Keith just comes in when he feels like it.
Yes,
I know when Jim was on that 1-15 Cowboy team, players came and went to meetings whenever they pleased. They just walked in and out.
Keith, just let him in, please.
I will.
I'm glad to see him. But
I'll bring him in. I'll bring him in. But I got something for Keith and Jack. So let's go ahead and just do it, guys. I'm gonna let it ride. That's right. That's right. Listen, I've been giving Keith a hard time about this all the time, and Jack too. So let's bring Keith up, see how he's doing today.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good morning, Keith.
Good morning.
Good morning,
I'm assuming this is my official welcome back to the Yankee family. I'm assuming.
I hope so.
No, wait a minute. Hold up.
Go ahead.
There were two people here that said the Yankees wouldn't be over 500.
Oh,
Well,
I didn't say that. I said they would make the playoffs. I had them over 500.
You had them at
right.
About 84, 85 wins is what I had them at. I'll only be off by 30 or so. That's not bad.
Keith is still giving in before the All-Star.
No, he hasn't. No, listen.
They're going to have over 60 wins by the All-Star game.
Yeah, they will for sure.
Come on,
and listen, all Keith has to do is just a sincere apology to all the Yankee fans out there, and we'll let him back in the club next year.
Listen,
Jack is out for years. I mean, he is a
Jack
Yankee
can never come back.
And he's rooting for the Yankees to lose so that his prediction comes right.
Listen, the problem that I have is, and I have done this several times here and on my own shows, I have said how wrong I was.
Yeah, but you haven't
apologized. I can't apologize for my for believing what I believe. I'll never do that. I was wrong.
How about I draft a statement to Keith and myself? We're wrong to this point. We admit it.
Oh my goodness.
We're wrong to this point.
I don't want Jack drafting any statements for me. Just I know you're a Hall of Fame writer, Jack, but I'm going to have my lawyer read anything you write.
That is the truth. You're smart. You're smarter than
Very
the
smart.
atmosphere. Yes, you are.
Well,
so Keith,
I think Keith should come back. Jack should never come back.
No, I think
he's banned for life.
We're not even at the All-Star break yet.
Yeah, good thing for you.
There'll be turmoil in the Bronx before the season.
Yes, there will be, and that will be everybody from the Bronx going to your house and having a protest about how you, as a Yankee fan, are rooting against them, so they lose. So your prediction.
No, I'm rooting for the Yankees.
I think you'd do better, Jack, if you weren't just paying attention to the time I pop into the show every week. I mean, this is like the third time you've questioned me.
I know. So
meanwhile, we got to talk.
Jack. So Keith, let's talk a little bit about the Yankees.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
They're 58-21. They just swept a pretty good Cleveland team, who's a winning team, and I mean they destroyed them, hitting, pitching, and. They have 3 Yankees over 20 home runs. The only team in the league to do that.
Joey Gallo, one of those guys, by the way?
No.
I didn't think so.
No.
Okay, just checking.
So what are your thoughts, Keith? I mean, what do you think? Do you think this is a possibility that they could just continue doing this?
I do. And, look at this team has played much better than I thought they would. I've said that numerous times, and I'll continue to say that as long as they play well. The problem comes for me, and again, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm really not. The regular season is great. They win 118 games. That'll be great. If they do that and they lose to the Astros in the playoffs, nobody's going to care. And they've got to get ready, and they've got to be better. I think they need to be better equipped to play, and the Rays too, by the way. They have not played against the Rays who have not played well as a rule. So look, it's going to be about getting ready for the playoffs from here. And again, those couple of holes, as well as they played, there's still a couple holes they need to shore up. And Joey Gallo.
They got a winning record against the Rays this year.
Yeah, they played the Rays. Yeah, they played well against the Rays this year.
If I'm not mistaken, I think they're 7-2. They're 2-7. I thought against the Rays and the Astros. I thought I saw yesterday. If I misspoke, I apologize. But
I think they got a lead on the Rays.
Let's take a quick look.
Yeah,
no. They played really well against the Rays.
Yeah, I think they swept them last series, the Rays. But anyway, Keith, You know,
I was
if
reading
you,
an
look
article from 2015.
if you look at, yeah, that's what I would do too if I was you. If you look at Houston has holes also. Houston, the wins they had against them were normally overtime and extra innings. So they're pretty equal. And I don't know about, I don't think they're going to play in the first round. They'll probably play in the championship. That's probably the two teams that are going to
Probably,
be there.
yeah.
Yeah. So even if it goes 7 games, the Yankees say they lose. They lose to a pretty good ball club. I'm not going to be mad at them. I think that's a step to next year. I'm not going to be upset. I think that's a pretty good season for the Yankees.
So you're happy losing for a 4th time in 6 years to the Astros in the playoffs? That'd be okay with you? I'm not okay with that. This is
it would be okay with me if it's a good series and they both go at it and it goes to Game 7. I would be happy as long as it's a great series.
You'd be happy with your team not going to the World Series for the 14th year in a row.
But well, yeah, but this is not the same team as the other 14 teams, Keith.
Are these the 2 best teams in professional baseball, the Astros and the Yankees?
At this very moment, yes.
No, the Toronto Blue Jays are going to win the World Series.
Oh my God!
They got to
Blue
get to
Jays over the Dodgers in the World Series.
They got to get to the playoffs first, Jack.
No, they're solidly going to make the playoffs. The Blue Jays.
Oh yeah,
right now the season ended, 4 teams in the East.
They're going to make the playoffs because this is like the NHL now. Everybody gets in. So
yeah, that's true.
Exactly. So anyway, besides Jack's prediction coming untrue, it's pretty interesting about what's going on. The Knicks, some big news with the Knicks.
Big time.
I mean, they signed Brunson, and then they turned around and they signed a very good forward. In let me get his name real quick before I go nuts. Mitchell Robinson. Mm-hmm. They signed a center. Isaiah, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Hartenstein, who can shoot, pass, rebound, and block shots. So now you look at the Knicks today, and you look at that 5. You look at Brunson, you look at Mitchell Robinson, you look at Randall, you look at the new center. I mean, this team right now, I think, is a playoff team.
Wow.
Yes, if Randall finds a way to revert to 2 years ago's attitude and performance, I would agree with you. If Brunson is everything that Leon Rose thinks he is, and Leon Rose represented him, and
his son, yes, his son represents him.
Yeah, well, right now he does, right, and Rose's company did represent Brunson before. He grew up around Thibodeau and Thibodeau's system in Chicago, and his father was a coach there. And this team, on paper, should be a playoff team, but we don't play.
I forgot to throw Barrett in there too. So now that 5, right to me, not right now, is a playoff team. They got a pretty good bench. I mean, I know they're going to add pieces and throw pieces away, whatever they got to do. But listen, I mean, what other team right now in the East is better than the Knicks?
Well, the Bucks are, for one.
I mean, come on, man, Mac. There's several teams.
Bucks and the Heat.
I want to know.
Philly will be better. Philly will be better.
Jim, you're a Dallas Mav fan, so you're familiar with Brunson. Is he going to be a big difference maker for the Knicks? Derek Harper, the analyst for the Mavs and the former Knicks player as well, he feels Brunson is going to make a major difference.
I really do believe that.
I do too.
You know why? Because now you can bring Rose off the bench and he'll stay healthy.
Absolutely.
That gives you 2 people that can, they're scorers, and he can, that's what he does. He's really not, believe it or not, he's not a great scorer. What he is a great facilitator.
Yeah.
That's what he does well. And that's going to help the Knicks because just as Julius Randle, he'll get him more involved. RJ Barrett, they'll do all the scoring. He'll facilitate it.
Yeah.
Because he's a old-fashioned point guard. And if you need scoring, you can bring Rose in to get the scoring.
And he's been a winner. He's been a winner. He won 2 national championships in Villanova.
Right. Villanova, yeah.
He's been a big part of this Dallas Maverick team coming back from, they'd had a little bit of a lull after Dirk retired and whatnot, and you've seen this up close, Jim. He was a big part of this run. He didn't start until December, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
He was a big part of this run to the Western Conference Finals against some really good teams. And
you know why the Mavericks are not nervous about losing him, though? His Hardaway comes back.
Yeah.
And he can help take some of the pressure off of what happened. He's not going to be Brunson, but if he could stay healthy, he's explosive enough to make plays. And I'm not saying the Mavericks are going to be good.
He's a very good player. He's a very good player when healthy. Very good.
Yes.
I will tell you. I will tell you on a different note. I was a little surprised that they went where they went with Mitchell Robinson, who I like. He's a good player, but he's a guy that I worry about. He's one guy I worry about going off the reservation because rather than doing what Thibodeau wants him to do, which he's very good at, protect the rim, play defense, rebound, he wants to score. And that's the thing that worries me. Could be a problem down the road. We'll see. Yeah. Hopefully the money will placate him. The kid from the Clippers I like a lot. He's perfect for Thibodeau's system. He's kind of a mini Wani Noah, who, if you remember in Chicago when Tibbs had his best games, he did all the things you just talked about, right? Mm-hmm. Protected the rim, rebounded, was a really good passer. And I think he can be that kind of player off the bench. He's not going to play, 40 minutes a game, obviously. But
and here's my question, Keith. When we got to the playoffs this year, if you noticed, people weren't playing with a lot of rim protection. They were playing 5 out.
Everybody.
Everybody's playing 5 out.
Yeah.
But the Loonies and guys like that help teams. But everybody started playing small ball. So can the Knicks play small ball if somebody comes to them?
Well, they got plenty of guards and small forwards, so they should be able to, theoretically. So
Gonzalez compares Brunson to Tracy McGrady. I don't know.
Oh no, that's different positions.
Yeah. Two different players. Yeah,
that's two different players.
Yeah. Listen. The Knicks still got some moves to come too, I think. I mean, Rose still needs to figure out what to do with Fournier, I think. I don't think he needs to be part of this team at this point. Mm-hmm. And maybe some other guys. They need to fortify the front court a little bit more, I think. And so there's still some work to be done. But this is this was a huge get for Rose, as we talked about a little bit Friday. If he didn't get Brunson, this offseason was going to be a total disaster because everything they did was revolved around getting him.
And they even had people at his games. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Obviously, his dad was there, but they had Rose was there, Randall came, and some of the other players from the Knicks were at his playoff games.
Yeah.
Gotta be excited.
It was in the works for a while, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you that. The interesting one more thing I want to say about the center. The center came off the bench, but he had the highest percentage of shooting the ball and making shots. It was like 73%. Off the bench when he shot. So he can shoot, but he's more there, as you said, to block shots, grab rebounds. But if he has to shoot, he can shoot well. So it's going to be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if they let him shoot. Is what I'm saying.
You gotta break that number down though. How many of those were putbacks on offensive rebounds and things like that? That's where Mitchell Robinson was shooting about 80% last year too, because he shot nothing but 2 feet from the basket. So
that's I'll tell you guys, it's a little bit ironic. We don't know what the net roster is going to look like. That's going to play itself out in the coming weeks.
The 5 of us might be there.
To make a bet now. Who's going to have a better record next year, regular season record, the Knicks or the Nets? That's thought-provoking.
At this point in time, I would say the Knicks, but we got to see what happens.
Yeah, we definitely do. We definitely do see what the Nets expect, and we'll talk to Robert about that. What do the Nets expect? Because they don't have to trade either one of them. They don't have to. They're under contract. So, what will the Nets accept for trading them? Like I said, we'll get into Robert a little bit. I know he did a little studying on it. And what he thinks that the Nets would want. I mean, guaranteed they're going to want an all-star player, and they're going to want a bunch, and they're going to have a bunch, and they're going to have a bunch of draft picks. So
don't you think that's I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jim. Sorry.
No, I'm saying, don't you think that's an unusual situation where now Kevin Durant wants to be traded, and they really put the roster around his skills? Yeah, something's going on with Nash, Durant, and Irving. and now they're saying that Irving and Durant want to go to the same team.
Well,
Of course they do.
It's the weirdest deal I've ever seen, and they basically put the roster around those two.
look at
It's unbelievable. It's
if
unbelievable.
Kevin Durant ties his star again to Kyrie Irving, then he deserves to be playing on the worst basketball team on the planet.
He does.
Why would you do this? You found out it didn't work. Why would you do it again?
I don't know. Does he? No, I didn't hear that he wants to play with Kyrie Irving.
No,
this
he's
season.
right. No, I've read the same articles. He does. There is. That's one of the rumors out there that they want to go to the same place. Who
They're
said
both
it? I
gonna-
don't know. Probably
They're
Kyrie.
both- I've read it too. I heard they both want to end up on the Lakers or Miami together. I've heard that
They
too.
both
I've read
can't
that.
go to Lakers.
No, they can't.
If you're the Nets, and let's say the Lakers call you and they offer Anthony Davis, for Durant in there, and the
That's
Lakers
not
pick up LeBron, Durant, Irving together, they'll go with those big three. That would be interesting. They'd have my attention.
Yeah, I don't see that.
The roster
I
of the
don't-
Lakers is Medicare.
Yes, that's next. So Keith, let's hit the Patriots real quick. Right now, of course, it's preseason. We don't know what's going to happen, but of course, their season is going to depend a lot on Mac Jones, Hunter, and Henry. If those three can get something together and going, get some kind of chemistry between them, Patriots probably will win more games than they'll lose.
Oh, I would agree. I mean, there's a lot. It's funny. A lot of the over-unders I've seen and some of the prognostications early before camps even start, which, you got to take with a grain of salt, I guess. A lot of them have them, going 8-9 or 7-10. And I'm like, I don't know what they're thinking about. If Mac Jones makes any progression at all this year, this team is definitely at least an 11-win team. I don't know that they can challenge the Bills just yet. We'll find out. But I think it's definitely at least an 11-win team and a playoff contender for
At
sure.
least 11 wins
you're
minimum. He's just saying minimum.
At least.
Yeah. So you're saying that Miami and New York, the Jets, won't make that big of a jump?
Well, I think the Jets will make a jump, but I don't think it'll be, significant, towards playoff contention. I think the team that's really getting overhyped is Miami. And why you're telling me Miami is overhyped when you're looking at Tua versus Mac Jones, I just maybe I'm just too biased, but I don't get it. I don't get it.
Got two
You gotta
really
look
good receivers.
I kind of.
Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
He's got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Who does Mac Jones have to throw to? No one that compares to those two guys.
No, but Tua's also got to be able to hit those guys, and his accuracy is still in question to me. I don't care what Tyreek Hill says. Let's see what happens.
On the
Let's
long
see what
ball,
happens when he's not standing around in shorts and t-shirt. We'll find out then.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, listen. I think I've read a lot of different stories on the Patriots. Some saying that what Keith is saying is correct, that they'll be 11-6 or maybe even win 12 games, and I've seen them as low as 5.
I have too.
It's all over the board right now with them. So Keith, let me preface this by saying me and Keith do a morning show called Start It Up. It's a great show, folks. We go over everything. I don't rip Keith like I do here. This is a totally different show than that. I do let Keith speak, actually, and he kind of rips me more than I rip him on that show, which is great. So anyway, Keith is going to be on Monday through Friday. This week, I won't be there Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I think it is, something like that. Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And Pags is supposed to be stepping in for me. So, folks, Keith will bring them in. Hopefully, it doesn't turn into all Philadelphia show. I kind of send the format.
No.
Keith, keep them in line, okay?
If I got the kill switch, don't worry.
All right, cool. All right, you got it. So anyway, folks, check out Start It Up, and of course, check out Keith Angle on all his shows on TGI Sports. Very entertaining, very informative, and the viewers drive that show. He really caters to all his viewers there, and the show ends up going in all kinds of different directions. And Keith's always trying to bring it back where it is.
Especially this morning. That's why it's the Sunday Stream of Consciousness, because I never know where we're going. So it's gonna be great.
And speaking of that, Keith will be up right after us on Roku. So stay tuned and stay with us. Keith, have a great day. Happy 4th of July, all that good stuff. And we'll see you very soon.
Absolutely. You guys enjoy your holiday weekend.
Okay.
And I'm happy to have you back in the Yankee family.
Yes.
Boy, Jim. Jim's
Did
my
Keith
man here.
apologize officially or what? I mean, he was a little vague in the way. I don't know.
I don't. I'm
Full
not
apology
sure.
or what?
I'm not sure what happened with Keith. I think he's like riding the fence.
Yeah, I'm running for office here. I'm not going to really answer it.
Yes, he is. So let's let Keith go, and we'll bring up our big highlight, big chasing all the hot topics in sports in his sports van, where he actually drives to He actually drives to different places. They saw him.
I love the sports fan chatter. It's funny.
They saw him in Arizona, I think, one time. It was reported to me anyway. I'm not sure if it's true or not. So we'll bring Robert up. Yes, Keith, have a great day, my friend.
See you guys.
All right, Keith. Talk to you later.
Let me tell you, the best way of describing Robert Butler, he's a combination Robert Butler of Brian Windhorst and Adam Schefter. That's the best way.
Yes.
I've been trying to not look that big. On camera, I do look like Brian Windhorst sometimes,
No,
man.
you
I gotta quit eating all these starches.
Yes, you do. And I mean, you're always, Robert, believe it or not, on a startup show, I'm actually wearing a sports jacket now, just so I can get almost close to you. So we'll see what happens with that. The tie is still in question. So let's start a little bit with the big news. The Big Ten is now the Big 16, right? I mean, you've got UCLA and USC joining them. Do you see any other teams that would follow them, maybe Oregon or Stanford or something like that, Robert?
Yeah, I mean, that would be nice to get an Oregon, somebody like that, maybe to get a Utah. Utah has taken their football much more serious. Utah's a little closer. Would you like to see Utah and Wisconsin play, somebody like that, or Minnesota? I'm a big fan of this stuff. I know there's a lot of critics talking about, well, this is such a money grab. The kids are going to be on the airplanes too long, and this and that. And my question to the naysayers, why is it a money grab? It's because it's better football. That's why. It's because more people like to see USC and Ohio State play in the regular season. I would love to see them play not just in the Rose Bowl, So I just think it's a great idea, the quality of football. And guys, I went to Austin Peay. I went to one of those small schools that get beat up by an Alabama every now and then. I graduated from Austin Peay. I don't want to see those type of games 3 times a year. I just want to see maybe once. But I'm just saying what's good for the viewer. That's my point.
And they won't take Oregon and Washington, and I'll tell you why. The Big Ten has requirements, academics, and they have to be a research school. Neither Oregon or Washington are research schools. That's why USC and UCLA, they have to be a research school. And that's what they're looking at when they invite them. If you look at all the schools they invited into the Big Ten, and with that's the schools that they're going to take.
Oh, okay.
And that's
Washington's good.
There's a borderline. Yeah, they're good football, but they're not those schools academically that they want in the Big Ten. So that's what in Oregon right now. They're in a different. They're going to have to find a league. It's probably the Big 12.
It might be.
Yeah.
It might be. I mean, it's a great point because there are certain conferences that do have certain restrictions and certain things that they have to to go into that conference. So let's talk a little Yankees. I want to talk to you about the Yankees too. I mean, listen, they swept Cleveland 2 games last night, 13-4, 6-1. A good team. And it seems like they're beating the teams with the winning records just as much as they're beating the teams with losing records. Of course, by the record, you could tell that. And do have 3 guys that hit 20 home runs in the year. The first 3 to do that this year. What do you think? Can the Yankees keep this pace up?
Well, according to 38, 538, they don't hit 1,000, but they're pretty good at stuff like this. this website. They're projected to win 109 games. That would be 7 games off the regular season record held by the Cubs in 1906. And, of course, the 2001 Seattle Mariner team. You guys remember that team. They got beat by the Yankees to get into the World Series. Only team I see getting in their way, and I'm just looking at pitching, is Houston. Houston is a 3-2 regular season record against them. Houston has a slightly better team ERA as far as pitching is against the Yankees. Other than that, I don't see anybody stopping them. But, hey, it's July, guys. Anything can happen. There's a lot that can happen between now and October.
I agree with that.
Jack, you look like you wanted to say something.
All I'm going to say is this. If we were doing this show way back in the day with the Jets were 10-1 at one point and finished with a 10-6 record. Enough said.
half glass empty, man.
Listen,
Man for life.
Jack is a Yankee.
I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping
you see that, Robert? Look at that banner.
The World Series.
That's the banner.
Down, and I'll join in and putting myself down. But
so, I mean, I've never seen.
Talking about records, Rob, you of all people, you're talking about the Yankees setting a major league record for wins during a regular season. Like
they're 7 wins short.
Possibility.
He did say that they're going to be 7 wins short.
Well, they're projected to win 109. The record's 116. I don't think they can win 117.
Before
But who
the
knows?
season is over, you're going to be talking about with a few weeks to go. Oh, Toronto is closing in on them. This team, that team. You know, you're going to be nervous.
Jack, you said that about the Cleveland Browns.
Wow.
I like the Browns too, Jim. I'll have to take
You
that
did.
L too, my friend.
Baker was hurt last year, so I mean, played with injury.
Yeah, his feelings were hurt. So, I mean, even their bench players. I mean, Carpenter hit 2 home runs. I mean, this is how well balanced the Yankee team is this year. It's pretty interesting to me, anyway. Of course, the Nets. That saga just continues.
Yeah.
If you're the owner or the GM of the Nets, what do you expect to get from Durant, and what do you expect to get from Kyrie if you decide to trade them both?
Well, there's quite a few different scenarios out there. The one I like the best would be like a 3-team deal where Kevin Durant could go to the Clippers and Paul George would end up going to the Heat. But the Heat would lose guys like Duncan Robertson, Tyler Hero. They would go back to the Nets with a boatload of draft picks. That is a lot what I read of this. If I'm the Nets, I would want to get some draft picks with this. I would not just go with veteran players. For instance, the sites I looked at was Sports Illustrated, The Athletic, Complex that does a lot of NBA stuff. There was one proposal for Kyrie and Durant to go to the Lakers for Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook. Why would you want to get a guy that's injury prone and a guy who's been with 5 teams in 5 years, something like that with Westbrook? Just seems to suck the life out of a team, and he is $47 million.
He has an expiring contract.
Yeah, but he has an expiring contract.
Yeah, that would be the good thing. But what are you going to get for that? Are you going to? There's only 3 first-round picks involved with that, and their later picks because the Lakers have mortgaged so much of their future prior.
I don't know.
Durant's not going to the Lakers. That's not.
Yeah, he don't want to play with Kyrie.
Yeah.
That's my gist of it.
But here also, supposedly, there is a once in a life, and you know how that means in the draft next year. A French kid, he's 7'2", but he has guard skills that everybody is raving over. My son is a basketball coach, and he tells me about him. And he said this kid is, he's taller than Holmgren. The kid is Chet Holmgren, and he's bigger by weight wise.
Yeah.
And they said he has skills. And they put him next to Holmgren. He was 2 or 3 inches taller. He's supposed to be 7'2", but he has guard skills.
Don't be so sure Chet Holmgren is going to be a top-of-the-line NBA player. I mean,
He's similar to Durant. He's
Yeah.
just a lot like Durant.
Well, guys,
I mean,
Sam Presti is a wizard
Yes.
in Oklahoma City. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't put it together a package and go after that player, somebody like that. The Knicks got a lot of draft picks.
Yes.
You know,
don't even mention that, Robert. There's no way Kyrie Irving. Don't even say that. I mean, you get me all upset this morning already.
But yeah, that is a good question.
no, not for Durant, for that particular lottery pick next year.
Where does
Okay,
Kyrie
okay.
fit? Where does he fit? What team does he fit with?
He wants to go to the Lakers, and because I guess LeBron could keep him in line. Kyrie is kind of having a come to Jesus moment because he did not get that extension that he thought he was going to get because of his behavior, his lack of ability. Remember, he was talking about fasting during the playoffs. Now, I understand I don't have any problems with anybody's religion, but if you're not trying not to eat during a highly intensive playoff series when you get swept by Boston, I guarantee you the owner, the management, the league is talking about that behind closed doors. So, man, this guy is worried about everything but basketball. Just saying. And that's a lot of money.
So let's switch gears and go back to the NIL for a minute.
Yeah.
Antonio Jackson announced he's flip-flopping from Georgia to Miami. And since it's so early in the process, he can do it. The rules don't stop him from doing that.
Yeah.
What that says to me is that he's got a better endorsements coming from Miami than he does Georgia. That's all it's saying to me, Robert.
Well, he doesn't as long as these guys don't sign that air quote letter of intent. I mean, you're a free agent to the last minute. Jim, you've worked in college football.
That's right.
You know how that is. He is from the Miami area. Cristobal is from the head coach from Miami, from the area. This is not an NIL type of situation. I think Cristobal's going to keep as much as possible. It's not going to be like it was pre-NIL because there's so much money in Texas and Texas A&M endowment, guys. Miami, they're looking better as far as recruiting going forward. Last year, they were 16th according to 24/7. That's like a real clear politics. That's the average of all the ranking systems. And next year, they're going to be 14th. So they still have a ways to go. And he's a 2024 guy. The guy you're talking about, Mac, he's a 2024 defensive back.
Also, you got to realize they did something really smart, and people don't realize this. When they originally were really good and got back into the national scene, Alonzo Highsmith was from Miami.
Okay.
And what they did was Alonzo Highsmith kept the Micah Irvins, the Melvin Braddens, and all these kids in the Miami area to Miami. Miami's a private school.
Yeah.
And he kept all those kids in there, and that's where the U came from because he was keeping kids local. Now he's back in the administration for the University of Miami. They'll keep those kids in that area. I'm just telling you, he is very persuasive about the parents seeing their kids. They can drive there, and he's going to talk about how they did it when he was there and how much success they had.
Right. Going back to the coach, even before, I can't remember this old man's name, but before Jimmy Johnson, that was his whole thing there. Was just keep the guys in the Miami City area, go up to Broward County. Yeah. Miami's in Dade County. Go up to Broward County, Fort Lauderdale. Right. You can practice year round down there, guys.
Snellenberger. I mean, that's what
Snellenberger. Yeah, thank you.
Snellenberger. And that's with the Jim Kelly era and guys like that. But you're right. But they really pushed it because Jim Kelly was obviously a Pennsylvania kid, and they've always recruited well on the East Coast. But the bulk of their roster were from that area. I mean, they've had, when they needed something, they would go. Russell Maryland was from Chicago. And they got guys like that, but the majority of the kids were Florida kids. And like you said,
Schellenberger, he just recently died here in the past year or so.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. So we hit the NIL a couple times. Let's talk about James Harden.
Yeah.
And, he's supposedly meeting right now with the upper brass. I think it's in the Hamptons to begin to negotiate his new contract. What are you expecting the Nets to actually, the 76ers actually to offer Harden to continue playing there? And what would you think Harden will accept?
Well, Harden will be 33 in August and 30 in the millions instead of 40, 47, what we just talked about Russell Westbrook's going to get paid. They're going to try to talk him into taking less so they can keep their team together. Now, the fact that they're actually meeting with Harden tells me that Joel Embiid's comments had no weight on Harden after the playoffs. That press conference when he said, we're expecting the guy from Houston and we're not getting that guy. I thought that may have been something to set these two apart. Apparently that's not the case. So they're going to try to talk him and PJ Tucker into coming in with the team. That's a defensive guy. Mm-hmm. You got Maxey there.
Well, PJ is signed with the Sixers.
Oh, okay. Well, they're trying to work out some kind of contract situations. What we're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the thing with Harden, that's interesting. I wasn't aware that they were meeting up at the Hamptons. What do you think's going to come of that, Rap? How much money would Harden accept?
The fact that he's 33 and really wants this ring, 32, 35 versus 45, 47, I think would be reasonable.
Yeah.
You want to get him down a little farther than that, but I think that's reasonable. It just depends. They want to keep this core together. They don't want to start trading off players. They got a good team on paper, guys.
Yeah. Harden wanted to go. Let's say Harden said he wanted to just go to free agent route. Would there be many bidders out there for him, and at what price?
They could be bidding against themselves, Jack. You're right. Because Harden's stock is low. Harden and Kyrie Irving, they need to prove themselves all over again. Not to mention Russell Westbrook. Those guys are kind of in the same. And quite frankly, these players have made a lot of money.
Yeah.
And all three of them have one thing in common. They don't have a ring on their own other than Kyrie with LeBron.
Right.
Why do you I'm sorry, why do you think not Harden, but Westbrook has hit the wall so fast?
Probably because he don't have any pace. He has one speed, it's like 150, and it's like an engine, man. He needs a tune-up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk to you a little about the Knicks here. They signed Brunson. They signed, Mitchell Robinson. They signed a pretty good center. So if Randall plays decent, good, you got Barrett, you got Mitchell Robinson, you've got, like I said, if Randall plays good, and you got Brunson there, what do you think? Do you think the Knicks can challenge this year?
Yeah, I do. I know that Carlos is out there trolling me somewhere, but that's okay. I'd like the fact that they signed the dad as the coach there. $20 million. Now, his $20 million per year. It's like it's 4 years. He's got some kind of option there. This is really team friendly for the Knicks, if you ask me. He averaged about 16 during the season. He went up to 21, 22 in the playoffs. So Brunson, I think, is a really good point guard, you guys. That's a big home run for the Knicks. Underrated. And Mitchell Robinson, I was reading about him. He's went up every year since being drafted in 18. He's 24 years old. Brunson's 25. These guys get after it defensively. They got a coach in Thibodeau that likes to get after them defense. They're young enough. They're in their prime. They're not too young like they were 2 years ago. I think the Knicks are going to get back in the playoffs. I don't think that's saying too much.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think they got
playoffs play in, Rob. We think of it as the same thing. No, serious. We think of it as being the same thing. First 6 teams officially the playoffs, then 7, 8, 9, 10 are play-ins to see who makes up the last 2 slots to be the top 8. So that's an interesting thing. I mean, do you see the Knicks as being a top 6 team and not having to participate in the play-in to be officially in the playoffs?
Well, think about the Nets, guys. Think if they decide to go really young with their trade proposals, and it puts them a step back. Maybe it knocks them down to 8, 9, 10 play in, somebody like that. What if the Heat do the same thing? I don't know. If the Heat get rid of all their bench players for Durant, what if Durant gets hurt next year?
Rafa, what about this? Let me throw this at you guys. With Durant and Kyrie, the Nets were play-in team number 7 last year.
Yeah.
Right.
So even with those guys.
It's very
I
true.
just wonder what's going on with the Nets and Steve Nash. And there's a concern there. I mean, you think about it, what is happening that Durant and Kyrie, I know they're disruptive, but you got to have some players, right?
Yeah.
You can't have them all be, like you said, 21 years old, 22-year-olds.
Yeah. There was one proposal, Jim, to get Ingram and for Zion to stay in New Orleans.
Mhm.
Now, Brandon Ingram is coming into his prime. I'm really impressed with Brandon Ingram.
Me too.
I would love to get a guy like that. I just wouldn't want to get the center from was it DeAndre Ayton from Phoenix? I'm not impressed with him.
But he is originally a New York kid, isn't he?
I'm not sure.
I
know he went to Arizona.
Yeah, he went to Arizona, but I don't think he's from the West.
Is he a native New Yorker? Okay.
I think. I might be wrong on that.
DeAndre Ayton is a good player. The problem is you don't want to really give him a max deal. That's what the problem is. He's a good player at the right price.
Yes. One more question for you. Of course, we got to talk about the Deshaun Watson, Robert. The attorney, the lawyer for Deshaun Watson, Deshaun Watson, filed paperwork seeking documents from the disciplinary hearing. He has every legal right to do that. But Watson appeared before the disciplinary committee. Do you think that maybe the attorney doesn't trust what Watson is saying to him, or maybe he's missing something? I mean, that's your client. He should run and tell you what exactly happened, who said what. But yet the attorney's requesting the documents. Again, it's within his right. Do you think that the attorney is starting to sweat a little bit here?
Well, this was on the Real Sports Report. This is not my opinion. This case was shopped. It was shopped to other lawyers prior to getting to Tony Bugsby. I know it's a lot of women ever, but the original woman, she shopped at 2 or 3 lawyers prior to coming to Bugsby. And I think he's trying to look for anything he can get Watson on to help his case. They've got 4 of them left over. The league is talking about still hinting at that indefinite suspension, year-long thing. We're not supposed to hear nothing until mid next week at the minimum. I was hoping they would knock it out this week, but so much luck for that. But there's still time by training camp to do the appeals and everything. But that's what I think. I think he's looking for something. And you're right, Mac. I think he may be sweating a little bit. Bugsby, the lawyer.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
These are the defendants, right? Or
defendant's lawyer, yeah.
This is Watson's lawyer. So the
defendant's lawyers.
Yeah,
Rusty Harden,
right.
The women's lawyer.
Yeah, Rusty is his.
I thought so. Harden.
Well, from what I read, that it is Rusty that's also seeking paperwork.
Oh, Rusty Harden is.
Yeah, from what I read, that he's
I just read for Bugsby.
I did read that too.
Football Talks that reported that.
So anyway, it's very entertaining. I think. I mean, listen. The NFL in its way does not want this story to continue all year. They don't want that. They don't want that at all. It makes the NFL look terrible. And I think, again, I think Watson, if he got that year suspension, as people were saying he did, that was going to be what it was. He would have signed that last week, and I think there's a lot more to it than we know. I mean,
but here's the issue, and I know he got paid last year, but he didn't play last year.
Right.
He got 2 years of not playing.
Right.
And I don't care how good you are.
I mean, but he got that's true too, Jim. I mean, if you think about it, he's a little rusty, but it wouldn't take him that long to get the rust off that arm of his. I don't think. Maybe a couple games, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a great athlete.
Fine. You know, he's young enough.
Yeah.
He'll be fine.
I just wonder if he's going to come back and say, "Hey, I had to sit out last year, and now you're making me sit out another year." I'm just saying because we don't know the whole story, and I'm not defending Watson. Was it consensual or was it? I mean,
well, he structured
they couldn't indict him.
He structured his contract, Jim, expecting this. He only takes $1 million this year, and the rest is guaranteed after that is the 230.
No, Mac. It's not about the money. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jim, but I think what Jim is saying is he's already basically served a year suspension, unofficially, of course. And now you're giving him another year. That's like 2 years.
That was a
2-year suspension.
But that was a team decision. That wasn't the NFL decision.
No. But it was the reason he wasn't allowed to play was as if he was serving a suspension. He wasn't allowed to play for a year.
Their argument is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Robert, is that hey, this guy went to grand jury and they wouldn't indict him on any criminal charges. Now
right. Two jurisdictions. And going back to what you said earlier, Mac, why, and this is what I argue on my show, why is the NFL getting in the investigating business and not leaving it up to the authorities? Like you said, it keeps this story in the news. This is a bad public relations for the NFL.
I agree. Yeah. I agree with that. But again, I see what Watson did. I see how he signed that contract, expecting at least a year. And if he was offered that year, I think they would have already took it. And the NFL does not want this thing to go on and on and on. They don't want that.
It's already went on too long.
Yeah, it's already gone on too long. So all Watson would have had to do was sign that year and he was done, or clear this matter up. Now, why he hasn't cleared the matter up with those other 4 women, I don't know. Maybe it's legitimate. Maybe they're really hurt by this, or maybe something really did happen.
Yeah, because that's what my...
Yeah, I don't know, Jim. I don't know,
but I'm just telling you. If you're a lawyer, you're going to say, wait a minute, this guy went to 2 grand juries and wasn't indicted. Now the NFL is going to come back and say they have some rules, which they don't even follow for everybody. They make rules up as they go.
And the NFLPA should appeal it, Pickles.
Oh, they're going to appeal it.
And who does it go to? Roger Goodell. It goes to Roger Goodell. And that appeal's not going to stand up.
What about the Daniel Snyder suspension? No one talks about that. When is Daniel Snyder going to be allowed back?
That will come to fruition too, Jack. You watch. That guy's not going to be an owner by the end of the year. I think he's out.
I think he is.
I think he's out. After this year, he's done.
Well, that would be the best news for Washington.
Yeah, it sure would.
One of the worst.
I know.
Daniel Snyder dusts off that beach chair to take to practice. He'll probably clean it off and bring it.
Yeah, he might clean it off, and he'll be sitting on the beach somewhere. I don't know. We'll see. Robert, again, we love having you on. One of the favorite. And remember, Robert, if you do want to rebroadcast this Sunday, it's yours. Okay, buddy?
Okay. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm considering doing something during the week. I'm looking around for jobs, but I'll get with you, Mac. I'll email you.
Okay, you got it, my friend. Always there for you, my friend.
Rob, thanks.
You guys.
Okay, guys.
Take care, Robert.
Show.
Thank you, buddy.
Robert. Have a good day. Happy 4th.
There you go. Robert Butler, folks, again, coming in with the hottest takes. I mean, I don't know anybody that researches something more than Robert. I swear to God, he's in 5 different places getting as much information as he can. That's why his show is so good, folks. So check him out. Robert Butler, he's all over the place. He has his own Facebook page. He's on Twitter. He's on Instagram. He's all over the place. So check him out when you get a chance. Folks, we're going to go ahead and take our first break for the day. We'll be back after these messages, as long as I can find where we're supposed to be here. There you are, baby. I think that's you. Is that you? I don't know what the hell I'm doing. You know that. You know the Jack. You know I don't know what I'm doing. We'll be right back after these messages, folks.
Yes! Wow, Tony, they're tough. You're next.
Don't worry, Ace. We've practiced. But first, let's start with a complete breakfast, including my Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. It helps bring out the tiger in you.
I hope your serve is good.
Good, sir. Why, this serving's great.
Show the tiger. Show what you can do.
All yours, tiger.
The taste of Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Brings out the tiger in you.
And you.
If you served honorably in our nation's armed forces and you're looking for a way to continue serving your fellow veterans in your community, then join AMVETS. Each year, AMVETS members volunteer millions of hours at VA healthcare facilities from coast to coast, helping to improve the lives of their fellow veterans through the VA Voluntary Services Program. AMVETS posts and departments also participate in a wide variety of community service projects, ranging from Americanism in our schools to supporting the Special Olympics and Boy Scouts of America. If you no longer wear the uniform today, you can still serve through the AMVETS by joining today at amvets.org.
Banana, and I'm here to say I am the top banana in the world today. Now you know the best bananas in the land. So don't slip up with an inferior brand. When it says GT, it's a very good day to buy bananas.
Hi, Grandma. What's for dinner?
Hey, honey, I'm making stew tonight.
Ooh, can Nina come over?
I'm not sure about our new friend. I wonder if there's been any drinking going on. Alcohol at her age can lead to so many bad things. I've been meaning to ask you, what would happen if someone offered you a drink?
Grandma?
This is hard. She's so young. But I know I need to talk to her about it now before someone tries to give her alcohol. If anyone ever does offer you a drink, I'm going to say no. I have too much respect for my family, and I don't want to get in trouble.
Okay.
Really?
I promise, Grandma.
I love you too. Okay, how about tasting this stew and telling me what you think?
Some children may try alcohol as young as 9 years old. It's not too early to talk about drinking. For tips on how to begin the conversation, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. That's underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. This message brought to you by SAMHSA and this station.
I heard you want to be a bandido like me. You do? Then you must sing the bandido song. Let's sing together. You just follow the bouncing Fritos corn chips bag. Ay, 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 ay. I am the Frito bandido. Hey, I like Fritos corn chips. I love them, I do. I want Fritos corn chips. I'll get them from you. Ay, 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 ay. Oh, I am the Frito bandito. Give me Fritos corn chips and I'll be your friend. The Frito bandito, you must not offend. Now, boys and girls, you are Frito bandidos too. You sing the Frito bandito song and you loco for crunchy Fritos corn chips. That's nice. Munch, munch, munchy, munchy Fritos corn chips.
If you talk and they will hear you every single time.
Oh, we're getting killed.
Yeah, well, Kyle's not here.
How come?
Kicked off the team. Didn't Tim tell you? Kyle and some other kids got caught drinking beer in the park a couple of nights ago.
Really?
Yeah. 0 tolerance. He's out for the season.
Come on, it's the first offense, right?
That we know of. But why should that matter? He knew not to drink. I've made it clear to Matt, that's what we expect from him. What have you said to Tim?
Nothing really. You know, a lot of kids try it at this age, so.
Yeah, well, a lot of kids don't try it too. I'm not saying that Matt's going to be this perfect kid, but if I don't tell him what we expect and why he shouldn't drink, how's he going to know?
You think kids that age really listen?
They never admit it, Bill, but they hear more than you think.
Talk. They hear you. For more information about talking with kids about underage drinking, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Presents Chester Cheetah.
I'm Chester Cheetah. I'm just a cool dude in a loose mood. Until I see those Cheetos.
Then my cool turns to drool. My style and ease surrender to my urge for the snack that goes crunch. It's not easy being cheated.
Cheetos cheese flavored snack. Cheese that goes crunch.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Mac, Jack, and Jim This Week in Sports show. As we go through all the sports, try to give you all the information we can, all the updates, and we get different opinions about what's going on. And we try to go to the sources of what's going on, and that's what we have the Philly sports guy on for, because he's all over Philly sports. He knows what's going on. He knows what the fans think. He's in fact, he's kind of shunned by the Philadelphia press because he's better than there. That's just plain truth. So anyway, guys, we're going to bring in the Philly sports guy. Great show. Does a great job. Does a great job for the network. He does a lot of things. And we'll bring him up here and let's see what he's got to say about some of the big news in Philadelphia. How you doing today, Pags?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good morning, Pags.
Doing pretty good, Pags. I mean, there's a lot of Philly news out there right now, including James Harden. Right, James Harden right now is meeting with the 76ers in the Hamptons, discussing a new contract. That just came over the wire last night, as a matter of fact. So he's up there to negotiating a contract. What do the fans think? Do the fans think that he's worth, say, 3 years at $30 million, or that he's worth, $25 million? And what do you think Harden thinks he's worth?
I believe that he's probably going to go for a 2-year deal, not 3. And I would think that he said he was going to do a team-friendly contract. Well, team-friendly sounds to me like $25 million. So I'd be interested to see if that's the route he goes. $30 million's fine, but I think it's only going to be 2 years because I think he's going to want to readdress whether he can get the max or not. Now, is that going to be for real? I don't know, but realistically, I think that he is. If he goes 3 years, he's going to be 37. He's not going to get another max deal after that. So my thought is that he's going to probably go for short term here and then readdress in a couple years.
What are the fans thinking, Pags? Do they want him back?
70-30 on the fact that he's taken a team-friendly deal on the happiness. So,
happiness? Okay.
Yeah, like they are happy that he is willing to do this for the team. It's looked at as a teammate move.
Is there some hope in Philadelphia that he could still be the James Harden of old, show up to training camp in tip-top shape and be the player he was in the past?
No, I think that we're looking at an 18 and 12 guy. 18 points, 12 assists. That's where I think that he's going to live.
Last year, he was like 22 and 10. So that's even less.
Yeah, but I think that's what we're expecting. I mean, I think if you put your expectations in a reasonable sense, they're going to, I think that's what we need from him. We're going to need some more rebound help. So I'd love to see another guy be able to come in here who knows how to work the boards. Offensive rebounds killed us. So I'd love to see somebody who knows how to stick underneath, in the paint when they're shooting threes and go after the ball. That's what I want. I'd like to have somebody under there. I'd love to have a 7-foot, power forward, but I don't know. They don't make a lot of them.
No. What do you think? What do you think about? I mean, you guys picked up Tucker, right? I mean, he's supposed to be down there doing the dirty work for you by the boards.
That's going to be some of it, but I think they got him more for his swagger and for his toughness. I don't know that he's going to be able to get the 15 boards, 16 boards that you need him to. He's like more of a 10, 12 boards guy, sometimes less. And you're not going to get many points production out of him. So
and he's older than Harden, correct?
Yeah, he's 37.
Yeah, I thought so.
So with a 3-year contract, he's going to be 40.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you get Harden, you guys got some bench players, not the best bench in the world, but you got to get a little deeper there. And with the, I think you got a decent team, and you got to make a couple more moves. But I think you're still in the conversation, Pags.
Yeah, I think that there's another big move to happen here. Somewhere down this line, there's going to be another big move.
It's not going to be Kyrie, is it?
I don't know.
It's
definitely not Kyrie.
DeAndre Ayton.
No, not him either. But we'll see. I'm in a rush here a little bit because I'm going to Canton, Ohio today to go watch the USFL Championship because the Philadelphia Stars are competing against the Birmingham Stallions for the first inaugural USFL Championship.
Yes,
but it's not a USFL Championship until the Stars are in it. So
right. So I mean, everybody is excited about that in Philadelphia. Anywhere else, they really don't give a damn. I'll be honest.
Yeah, actually, they're not even really excited about it in Philadelphia.
Okay,
However, it was a hard ticket to get. It was a hard ticket to get. Yeah, they were sold out.
Well, that stadium only holds what, 22,000?
24,000, correct.
24. I knew it was something. I played there. I played in that the Hall of Fame game. So
yeah, you guys went there after your 1-15 season, right?
Right.
No, that was in Buffalo. We didn't go there. Yeah. But after that, we won championships more than one.
Yeah, that's okay. I remember the 1-15 season though.
Yes,
I'm sure you do. I'm sure that's the only one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't remember last year, do you?
Yeah.
I remember last year. We didn't play either game.
Right.
Actually, the first game we came to play, and you guys, like I said, that was we went into a buzzsaw there. It had been 2 years since they had seen Dak. It was Monday Night Football, the third week of the season. No excuses. Hey, listen, I have been to Dallas the last 5 years. Dallas was a raucous. They were an intense crowd that day. The more intense than I've ever seen that crowd, ever. So,
Pags, if you were around back during the time Jim was playing, you would have gotten inside his head and the other players' heads in the Cowboys. Some of them. No, I'm telling you.
I trust me, and I have gone into some players' heads.
Arguing with you in the stands.
We couldn't even hear you, Pags.
Guess what? You could hear me just fine. You'd be able to hear me. The loudest fan in the NFL is in this room right here. So trust me.
All right. Okay. All right. Listen, I'm with you, Pags. I'm all with you. So the Phillies, I mean, the Atlanta does something that the Braves have never done in history, 4 walk-off home runs, and they almost lose the game. I mean, Phillies come back, they tie it, and, of course, the Braves ended up winning. Do you think that crushes, when you come back that far, Pags, and, I mean, they jumped up big. But you come back that far, and you're right with them, and all of a sudden they do a walk-off on you. Does that crush the fans there?
No. We were down 5-0. They came back, tied at 6-6, and then they lost it in the 9th on a guy who's actually going crazy right now. Hit for the cycle yesterday and hit 2 home runs 2 days ago, or cycle 2 days ago, and 2 home runs yesterday. So I don't think it deflates the fan base. I think that just shows that we're always in it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you could be in it, but if you keep losing those games, I mean, what's the use?
Yeah, but we've won those games too. So it's not a matter of that. Like one of the guys who's been pitching pretty well for us, Sir Anthony Dominguez, is the one who gave up that home run. It was actually a good pitch, and the guy just hit it. You know what I mean? You can't help when you're throwing good pitches and the guy hits them. So
you know what
he's on fire right now.
You know what I'm impressed with? I'm looking at all these left-handers and right-handers going the opposite way and hitting home runs. I don't think they knew how to do that anymore. I mean, that's what I heard. They can't do that anymore. They only got a certain swing. But I'm seeing a lot of the batters now starting to go to left, and the right hand the right-handers going to right.
They've been practicing it at batting practice.
They've
been going crazy. Well, if you're going to go against the shift, it's going to be worth it for you to be able to hit singles over that way. It's better when you hit home runs, of course, but if you're going to hit a single or two, I mean, that a single could wind up into a double very quickly because of the way that those shifts work.
No doubt. Yeah, I agree, Pags. I mean, it happened yesterday. So, I mean, look, I've been hearing all this time. I've been talking to people. Oh, they can't do it. What do you mean they can't do it? They don't want to do it.
These guys are $1 million players. They know how to bat. You know what I mean? They got into Major League Baseball by being able to be as versatile as they could be. They don't take you in baseball if you can't. When I tried out for Major Leagues a long time ago, I actually tried out for the Mets and the Marlins when I was in the Navy. They actually had a combined workout in Norfolk, and I went there and I made it through first cuts because I could track the ball down and throw it. And they wanted to see how. But you got 5 fly balls and 5 throws, and then you had to run 90 feet. And that's where I got cut because I was just too slow. So, plus I was in the Navy. That didn't help me. But literally, so you don't get the opportunity. Like when you get to that point, they already expect that you know how to hit. Everybody knows how to hit. They want to make sure you know how to field and can run.
Now you should have combined your skills with Byron Williams, because the only reason he made the NFL because he could run. He could run real quick.
There you go.
What does that mean? I don't even know what that means, but okay.
No. Sometimes there's one skill lacking in an athlete.
While you guys are talking, I'm just looking at that ugly hat that Pags has on.
That's old school.
Ugliest hat I've seen.
Yeah, no, come on now.
You need to burn that thing.
Yeah, this is from 1986. They gave this away at the vet.
Yeah,
I heard they were giving away a lot.
That's why they gave it away.
Yes, I heard that.
Well, the Mets won the World Series that year, so they were a little depressed.
Yeah, but this was the Eagles, so and they didn't
show listen, I know you don't take a big stock in what's going on in training camp and all that. But the Eagles signed all their draft picks. They took care of business, Pags. I mean, you got all these draft picks in, they're signed. That means they're taking care of what they're supposed to take care of.
I agree. Like I said, it's time to start putting up. You know what I mean? I'm ready for training camp. I want to see what it looks like against real competition. I want them to live up to the hype.
I mean, listen, a lot of teams haven't signed all their drafts yet. So, I mean, they're going through, they're checking the boxes, they're taking care of what they got to take care of. And that says something about Rosenstein there. So that's pretty cool. To let you know, folks, Pags will be filling in for me on Started Up. That's a morning show with Keith Angle. He's going to be filling in for me Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that starts at 6 a.m. in the morning. They should do really good together. I've already talked to Keith about you staying in the format and not turning it into a Philly show. So you got the copy of the format, right, Pags? You know what we're doing. So, and I have no doubt that you can handle it, no problem at all. I mean, I know you know a little bit about soccer.
6 a.m. 6 a.m.
Yeah, 6 a.m., my friend, 6 a.m. So, folks,
how is it I'm supposed to be? Philly sports don't sleep at night. I got to get up early in the morning, too, burning the candle.
Will you have info on the Philadelphia Star parade, the details, if they win today, where the parade, when it's held, the route, the whole bit?
Yeah, they're going to parade back to their houses because they're not going to be a parade in Philadelphia. They haven't played a game yet. So I'm just representing Philadelphia because that's what we do. I represent Philly. That's why I'm going out there. Plus, I'm having an open house today in my house.
That's pretty impressive by you, Pags. I got to say. That's pretty impressive.
Listen,
well, there's going to be, like I said, I didn't think there was going to be anybody there. I thought there was only going to be maybe 800 people. So I was going to get a good amount of TV time.
Right? Listen, Jack was hoping for that parade. He talked to me about it before show. He wanted to go down to Philadelphia, and he wanted to watch the team go by. He gets excited about floats, Pags. I don't know why.
No, I understand. Well, I don't expect that the parade's going to be a long one here. So
right.
I think that they will, like I said, parade right to their houses and enjoy the fact that they won a championship.
Yeah, that would be a nice parade, I guess.
Kind of reminds me of a story quickly with Sonny Liston, believe it or not, former heavyweight champion, considered a bit of a thug. When he knocked out Floyd Patterson to win the title, he told his wife on the plane, I'm going to be a changed man. There's responsibility with being champion. And he couldn't wait to greet the people when he got off the plane. He got off the plane. No one was there. So then he was named Sonny Liston.
Right. Like, yeah, nobody cared. He won the championship.
Yes. Well, what are you going to do, right? So, again, folks, Pags does a lot of work off network for us. He's great on TikTok. He has over 100,000 followers. Check out his site. Subscribe to it. Get into all the TikTok that he does. He's all over the place. He really is. And again, he's our social media producer. So a lot of things you see on YouTube and that's all Pags. Pags runs that thing for us. And also, me and him are going to be at the Dream Ride benefit live. Pags will probably be doing his TikTok, and I'll get him over there. I'll be going live on Northeast Streaming Sports. And Keith Angus, rumored now, Pags, Keith's going to come down too.
How about that? That'll be the first time I get to meet you guys in person.
Right. I mean, I heard
figments of my imagination on a screen.
Right. Exactly. Of course, you heard the news that Robert Butler and Keith are going to throw down in the cage for the benefit of I don't know what, probably benefit of Keith's hospital bills afterwards. That's
next Saturday, I am doing a dunk tank.
See?
So they're going to put the Philly sports guy in a dunk tank. We're raising money for some local charities.
Oh, that's great.
I'm going to be in the dunk tank. Come check us out at my living room, Dolan's Bar. You know, we're gonna be doing our thing. There's gonna be bands. It's gonna be. I'm also doing the funnel cakes. I'm a funnel cake maker as well. So we're gonna have a good time.
Man of many talents. I've always said that about you. Yes, sir. Pags, you have a great 4th of July. If I don't see you, I probably will see you. I'll be tuning into the show, trying to do some of my magic from there, and trying to keep everything up.
Tomorrow I'll be right live from Canton, Ohio.
There you go.
Check me out later. I'm going to go live. I'll be live later watching the USFL Championship. So
yes, yes. All right, Pags. We'll let you go. You have a great day. Happy 4th of July. If I don't see you, and enjoy what you can enjoy. Take some time off, Pags, and just sit back and drink something.
I'm drinking some water right now.
Everybody. The game is tomorrow, the championship?
No, it's today, right?
Today at 7:30. That's why I got to drive. I got 7-hour drive ahead of me, and then I got to paint my face.
I'm sure the USFL wouldn't go against the Coney Island hot dog eating contest.
No.
No, that's tomorrow. That's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, so thanks for that important information, Pags, Jack. So Pags, we'll let you go, and we'll see you soon, my friend. You take care.
Have a good one, guys. Happy 4th.
All right. Happy 4th, Pags.
So there you go, folks. The Philly sports guy, and I'm honored the charities and benefits he does. He's a really good man. He does a really good show. He really is. And he knows, I'll tell you right now, he knows more about Philly sports than anybody I know, and he knows what's going on there. So, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back on the other side. And then it's me, Jack, and Jim just doing our breakdown like we always do and giving you the real sports information. We'll be right back after these messages.
Shaper is the one bit to have when you're having more than one. Shaper pleasure doesn't fade even when your thirst is done. The most rewarding flavor in this man's world for people who are having fun. Shaper is the one bit to have when you're having more than one.
Ever wonder what makes Schaefer the one beer to have when you're having more than one? One reason is more than one fermentation. Most brewers just ferment their beer once, but Schaefer is fermented twice. Once to make it beer, and twice to make it Schaefer. One beer with flavor so fine, it keeps shining through, glass after frosty glass. More than one fermentation is one reason, but of course there's more than one reason behind the one beer to have when you're having more than one.
So, let's get this going, folks. Let's get it up and rocking.
I mean, you can see right now, without LeBron, Lakers are struggling.
Let me tell you about a team I hate, all right? I know the Dallas Cowboy fan is here, so I had to make sure he knew how much I hate this team.
I'm ready. I've often said that the people who run baseball, they try very hard to ruin it.
I'm from Brooklyn. I don't have a problem saying it to his face. Oh, I'm from Brooklyn. Hey, get any?
The Hometown Foundation is The Hometown Foundation is excited to bring back the Dream Ride experience, August 26th to the 28th at Connecticut's Farmington Polo Club. Join us in celebrating the accomplishments of our Dream Riders while enjoying live music, a car and motorcycle show, family fun zone, pet adoptions, canine demonstrations, the Fireman's Chili Cook-Off, and much, much more. Get your tickets today.
Yes, sir, folks. Let me bring you back in here as we get rid of some of this clogged up stuff that's on here. Jack isn't back in the room yet, so I'm kind of giving him an extra second here. Here he comes. How you doing, Jack? I'm glad that you're back and joining us. So, folks, again, my name is Mac. I'm the host of the show with my co-hosts, Jack Hirsch and Jim Jeffcoat. We played that little promotion about Dream Ride, as I've been saying all week, or last few weeks anyway. Great event. Raised over $18 million so far for cancer research, for Special Olympics. They work really close with these kids that are mentally challenged and the adults that are mentally challenged. It's a great organization. It's a great event. If you can make it there to Connecticut, like me and Pags are going to be there, tens of thousands of people are there with different radio personalities and different sports personalities, cheerleaders, mascots, the whole 9 yards. So they're really into sports there too. If you can't make it, dreamride.org. Always take a donations, $5, $10, whatever you can give, folks, will help them out quite a bit. So please give with your heart, and please support this great organization. Jim is not only with us here on This Week in Sports, but he also does a show Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern with his friend and his enemy at the same time, Byron Williams, who they do an outstanding job covering the NFL. Jack has his own show with Frank Latirzo called Glove Fist, and also has a podcast now called Jack's Boxing Beat. And both of those shows are killing the ratings too, folks. So if you get a chance, check them out. They're listed on YouTube. They're there on Roku. Check them out. Download the app, and you'll get great shows there.
We're on tomorrow night, even though it's a holiday, July 4th, 7 o'clock Eastern time, 7 p.m. in the evening Eastern time.
And fireworks before fireworks, right, Jack?
I don't know the background with all the fireworks going, but I'm going to talk about a famous July 4th fight.
See, there you go. So Jack is all over it. Of course, I'm there if he needs me at any time anyway. So we'll see what happens with that. And like I said, check out his Boxing Beat podcast. It's excellent, folks. So, guys, we've taken a lot of look at a lot of different sports today. I wanted to bring this up earlier, and I'll start with it now. Zion Williamson he gets the extension for a rookie contract. It's a max, but not super max deal. With the team he has here right now, you talked about Ingram and some of the players that took him into the playoffs. I mean, if he doesn't get hurt, and that's a big if, big boy. I don't know if he should go on a diet or not. His ankles buckle sometimes because he's so big. He's built like sort of like a Shaq, but he's shorter, you know. So,
yes.
What do you think? Do you think this is a smart move by New Orleans, or do you think they should have maybe waited or something to see if he can perform one more year without getting hurt?
No, I'll take it. You don't wait. I mean, he's an incredible talent, Zion Williamson, and his rookie max deal turns into a super max deal if he accomplishes certain things. And if he stays healthy, he will. He's already exhibited when healthy that he's a great NBA player when healthy. Jim could speak to this better than I can. An athlete that's big, that has a lot of weight. Do you leave them alone? Because some individuals are just naturally big and you try to slim them down. If anything, they're going to lose effectiveness. So let them just get in shape and maybe disregard the weight because it's a natural thing. I mean, what's your take on that, Jim?
My take on it is basically with this Zion Williamson, he's got to get in better shape. And he's got this. And you see it's happening with, this is interesting because Anthony Davis, they're not similar players, but they are in the injury standpoint. These guys have got to be in shape for their teams to be. New Orleans with C.J. McCollum and other players are really good. And with Zion Williams, they could be a top 5 team in the West. So you got to get him down. I think if he can lose weight and get in better shape, if he had LeBron James mentality about, or Kobe or some of those great players working out, he could be special because that's the big thing with him is staying healthy. It's never been about physical ability. It's about health. The same thing with Anthony Davis.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Zion's been hurt in college. He got hurt in college already.
Yes.
He missed time in college. Then he comes to the pros and he gets hurt right away. Listen, exactly. I think Zion is a great player, could be a top 5 player in the NBA if he's healthy. Yes. But I don't know if I'm New Orleans, if I'm going to take that chance, he's still got a year left on his contract. At least give me half the year, and then we'll talk. I mean, I want to see that he isn't going to get hurt and that he's not going to be able to play. So you're going to give him all this money for nothing then.
That is true. I agree with both of you guys. The guys, we're not arguing about his physical talent. It's can he stay sustained over the period of time playing more than he didn't play last year, or more than half a season, because he can max out at $233 million. Right now, I think it's $198 million. That's still a lot of money.
You see, my concerns are the injuries, of course, because Kobe Bryant used to say about Shaquille O'Neal. He said about Shaquille O'Neal when their careers were over that Shaq would have, without a doubt, been the greatest player of all time if he worked hard, not even close.
Yes.
Is Zion the same way, but just injury prone? Because as long as Zion's on the court, he's going to perform at top level. There's no doubt about that. But, it's injuries or nothing, injuries or everything. That's basically what it comes down to with Zion, because he's not going to disappoint you as an actual player. And he's too young for his performances to actually slip when he's on the court. When an athlete doesn't take care of himself, it kind of shows up in his early 30s, like James Harden, perhaps, who got out of shape.
Everything you say is true. I mean, with him, this guy could be a unique player, but does he have the mentality to be a unique player? Does he have the drive?
You can tell, Jim, he loves basketball. You could tell he loves the game. He loves New Orleans. I'm saying if he loses 20 pounds, and that don't seem like a lot, but it is a lot, and he kind of slims down just a little bit, not so much that it hurts his effectiveness inside, just 20 pounds. And he was kind of working at maintaining that weight. I think it would help him a lot.
I agree with you. And it was
And
good
considering his
stress on
age.
his body.
You're the GM, Mac and Jim. You're the GM of the Pelicans, make believe. You just signed Zion, but you could trade him. Your phone rings and it's the Nets. How about Kevin Durant, who's a little more than 10 years older for Zion even up?
No.
And you don't make the deal.
Nope. I won't make
So
it.
that shows the faith you still have in Zion Williamson, that you're going to bank on him being healthy enough, playing enough. You know,
Well, the reason I don't make the deal is look at that roster. Look at that roster. Durant really doesn't fit in New Orleans for that roster, and that's
And
why.
not only- And not only that, as Jackson, Jim and I have said, if he can play the whole year, he could be a top 5, and he has unique skills he has that Durant doesn't have. Durant's not going to muscle you. He's not going to muscle you inside. He'll drive to the basket, just like Zion can too. Also, so I mean, Zion is the best of two worlds when he's healthy, and that's the only thing. That's the only
Mac,
thing.
I disagree with you when you say a top 5. I think if he's motivated, healthy, at the top of his game, he'll be a top 1. That's how good I think Zion is.
I
think
don't-
he could be the
I don't think
best
so.
player in the game.
I don't think he would be.
I don't think
That's
so.
the
Well,
hard.
who would you say would be the best right now? Would it be Giannis, for example? I mean,
Yes. Yes.
and I think Zion could be better than Giannis at the top of his game.
I don't agree.
I don't think so either.
I think at this point, you can look at Curry. You can look at Luka. I mean, you can look at those guys, and then
Davis when he's healthy, Jim. Davis when he's
Zion
healthy. He's
can
good.
play different positions. He can even play the point guard.
So
He's
can-
the
so-
closest thing to
so
LeBron
can Giannis.
James, being versatile,
Mhm.
being able to play all over the place.
Okay, Luka.
So can
Yeah.
Giannis. Giannis
Yeah.
brings the ball down the court too. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing that he's going to be one of the best. I just don't think he's number 1.
Yeah, I can't foresee him being a number 1 player.
He's got to show me a little bit before I give him a number 1 ranking. That's for sure. He hasn't even played a full year yet, or a year yet.
He's
So
got
we'll
to
see.
show your body of work, but he's shown the flashes already.
I guess he has. Has he really? He didn't play last year. Did he really? I don't know.
And they always say potential can't even buy you a cup of coffee.
Potentially.
Yeah.
I agree
Well,
with
Gil
that.
Hodges, the manager of the Mets, said about a young pitcher who wasn't panning out. Some guys have potential their whole lives. He pitched for the Mets. The pitcher turned out to be Nolan Ryan. Eventually, he got it together.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about what your feelings are on the Nets and Kyrie. I mean, if you're the GM guys, we talked about it with Robert. If you were the GM, I mean, why would you let these guys go? Why not just say, sit on the bench and I'll find you. Go ahead. Why would you let them go? I don't understand why owners are so willing to let them go because they don't feel right or whatever. I never got that. And when they talk to the Basketball Players Association, of course, they're the ones representing these guys, and how unfair it is to other teams that only the top teams are getting the top players. They say, just sit them down. Don't pay them. I mean, it's up to the owner. The owner has the power in all these situations. If you're under contract, you're theirs for that amount of time, whether you like it or not. And if you sit them down, you just don't pay them. And it gives you plenty of money to get somebody else. I mean, why wouldn't you use that power to your advantage? Both of you, what do you think?
Go ahead, Jack.
Sometimes I wonder, as you were proposing that question, I was thinking, and I've thought about this before. These players command such power. If you have a superstar talent in the prime of his career, who's the face of the franchise, and you're scared you might lose him, why not just make him a player coach and let him get his staff around him? We've had player coaches in the past, like a LeBron James, who's always unhappy with his head coach. You say, LeBron, you're officially the coach. You could bring in who you want as your assistants, who are basically going to run the game from the bench. But this is your baby, basically. And that's going to make the player more likely to want to stay with the franchise because he's going to feel that he's in control. he's making the decisions there. Sometimes I wonder, that do these owners go halfway? They give these players so much power, yet they don't give them the ultimate power. So eventually there's discontent with the play. Imagine if the Nets instead of Steve Nash, who's basically to me been a figurehead, imagine they make Kevin Durant their head coach, okay? I mean, and Durant could decide who he's bringing in, how he wants to deal with the Kyrie.
Didn't they already do that with Kyrie and Durant? Didn't they already say that they were running the team?
No, they weren't the coaches there, but
here's the problem that you said about LeBron.
Not officially.
You can hate or love LeBron James, but he has never asked to be traded. In every team that he's went to, he's finished his contracts. And every team he's been to has won an NBA championship. So that's not a good analogy.
I'm going to counter that, Jim. I'm countering that. In every way he's been, it seems he's complained about the coach. Case in point, Mike Brown was the Cleveland Cavalier coach. He complained about Brown. Cleveland let him go. You could say, well, maybe it wasn't about LeBron James. I say it was. You want to know why? Because after LeBron left to go to Miami, Cleveland rehired Mike Brown as the head coach. That's all the evidence you need. David Blatt,
Michael Jordan, the greatest player ever, complained about Bill Collins.
David Blatt had a 30-11 record, and Cleveland lets him go. Eric Spoelstra, LeBron complained about him in Miami, but Pat Riley stood up for Eric Spoelstra and said to LeBron firmly, he's going nowhere. And I didn't exactly see LeBron James say anything kind about Frank Vogel after he wound up, a year or so after winning the NBA title, being let go. Where was LeBron's support? LeBron has been a coach killer for the most part. It's true what you said. He never asked out of his, never asked to be traded during the year. But, the evidence is there. LeBron just has been constantly whining about his coaches.
I disagree. I disagree with that. I think LeBron has finished and he's never complained about a contract. And but Michael Jordan complained about Doug Collins. And you see some players are like that. If they have that, they're going to utilize that.
Wait. Are you real? Did he really do it? Because when Michael Jordan was put in charge of the Washington Wizards, he saw to it that they hired Doug Collins to coach. He called Doug Collins up to coach the team, and that's why Doug Collins coached for the Wizards. So I kind of question whether anything negative went down with Jordan and Collins.
Yeah, well, you never know, but
no.
Go ahead.
Listen, there's a couple young players I want to talk about. The Timberwolves player that got signed to a max contract. You got John Morant being signed to a max contract. They're taking care of their young kids. Are they giving them too much, though? I mean, they've only played 1 year, 2 years at the most. Are they giving these guys too much for their max contracts? I mean, you don't know what's going to happen next year or the year after that. Do you think as a GM, Jim and Jack, are you going to give them the supermax contract when they're rookies?
And Jason says Ja is a generational property talent with his explosiveness. He's another one who has to obviously stay healthy for an extended period of time. But what they're afraid of, especially in different markets, of losing these type of players. They're losing them to bigger markets like the LAs, the New Yorks. So they got to get them wrapped up now because the Minnesotas and obviously the Memphis do not have the intrigue of going to LA, going to Miami, going to New York and places like that. So if they can get them tied up now, that's to their advantage because they sell tickets.
I'm going to tell you, Minnesota and Utah made a bold move, especially the Timberwolves, who are going to contend for the NBA title next year, at least to come out of the West to go to the finals. They essentially traded 9 guys, to get Rudy Gobert. And Rudy Gobert is going to be a big difference maker. You put him with Karl Anthony Towns in the front line, Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell, they're going to have a really impactful team, but they gave 4 players there, 5 number 1 draft choices, essentially. The number 1 this year, an additional 4, and only one is protected in the back end of that. And that is they gave up so much for Rudy Gobert. I mean, it's, Michael Beasley and Patrick Beverley were two of the current players they gave up who are, going to help the Jazz. And Danny Ainge, who's in charge of operations for the Jazz, he's done moves like this with the Celtics before. It's a bold move. Gobert's 30 years old. He's under contract for a few more years. And the Timberwolves are going for it now. And I'm going to tell you, they nearly beat the Grizzlies in the playoffs last year. You could argue that they should have. And the Grizzlies lost to the Warriors in the finals of the West. So look out for Minnesota next year with this deal.
Listen, what do you think, Jim?
I think that Utah and Gobert is a good player, but is he a great player? Because they were trying to appease. They were appeasing the guard because him and Gobert have had issues.
Donovan Mitchell, yeah.
Donovan Mitchell, they were trying to appease him and put more people around him. I think what happens to Minnesota is Beverly brought energy. He's a jerk and everything, but he brought a little bit of swagger, and I think they're going to miss him. And Gobert is off and on. I think some games he looks like he's one of the top 5 centers in the league. Other games, you wonder where he's at. And that happened against Dallas. With all that talent, Luka's out, and they still beat him.
Jim, this is like the Herschel Walker deal with the Cowboys and the Vikings. Minnesota was involved in that one. Minnesota's involved again. This is like the Herschel Walker deal.
Exactly, but it is. And I think that Ainge has he can build that team the way he wants it built, as opposed to Minnesota. And I'm not saying that Karl Anthony Towns is not a good player. And I'm not saying Gobert is not. But I don't see them competing for the NBA to win the West. I just don't see it, Minnesota.
Well, let me throw this at you. When they played the Grizzlies in the finals, they had a lead in 3 of the games that they lost going into the 4th period. Mm-hmm. And they lost in 6 games to the Grizzlies. So they were basically on the same level as the Grizzlies, who gave the Warriors all they could handle in the finals. Yeah. So don't you think a Rudy Gobert would have been a difference maker in those games they lost, defensively when Memphis rallied?
That remains to be seen. I mean, what teams do now, and we talked about this earlier, is teams really take the center out of in the playoffs. They play those 5 outs. They're playing like Golden State does. They'll bring 5 perimeter players, and they're more difficult to guard. And you have that rim protector. Well, they're not even trying to go to the rim. They're trying to shoot at threes, and they're shooting those perimeter shots. And that's where it takes away their advantage of having that big man in the middle.
You could make an argument. I hate the argument. Well, if they did this, they would have won. If they didn't win, it doesn't matter what they could have done. It doesn't matter. You could say that about any team in any sport. If they did this, if they did that, if he was there, then if he was, how do you know? The point is they lost, and Memphis beat them. So to me, Memphis is a better team. Period. Whoever won a game is the better team, and that's pretty simple to me. I think Memphis, Minnesota are 2 up-and-coming teams. The only thing I'm worried about, as I said, is they're rookies. A couple of those guys they signed are rookies to max deals. I don't know if I would have done that. They're still in the contract. I might have waited to see if this was just something that that happened. Are they going to get hurt? I mean, if you look at it, Ja Morant is not a big man. He's not. He's a pretty thin guy, and he's aggressive, and you saw him get hurt already. So why are you going to give all these guys all this money when you're not sure yet? I don't think I'm sure yet. I think go ahead, Jim.
But the problem is the teams you're talking about are small market teams, similar to Milwaukee. Right. And they have to have that premier player, and they don't want him to get away, and they have to take this chance. And this is what they're doing. They're saying if he gets out on the free agent market, we'll never see him again.
Yeah.
And that's what they're afraid of, and that's why they're giving them these max deals. That's
Yeah.
happening in New Orleans, Minnesota, or Memphis.
A case in point with the team waiting and where it backfired was with the Mavericks with Jalen Brunson. They had a chance to sign, and they wanted to wait a little more to see who else they could sign as a free agent. They waited, and they lost them. Okay, and now they
perfect.
Right, the same offer they're giving him now, he would have jumped on had they done it early, last year, and they waited.
And Pickles is right. Durant sells tickets because of his style of play.
From what I read, Dallas couldn't afford to give Brunson what he got with the Knicks. That's what I read. I mean, they were.
You would have had to pay the luxury tax.
Right. And I mean, they're so over the cap that they would have. I mean, I don't know how many hundreds of millions of dollars they would have been over the cap. Something ridiculous. And I don't think they wanted to pay that luxury tax.
How much are these owners willing to lose? How big of fans are they? Your guy, Jerry Jones, said if he could win another Super Bowl and he had to write a check, he would write a big fat check for another Super Bowl victory. Giving an example for fun, how big a check would Jerry do out of his net worth? Would he give 10% of his net worth for another Super Bowl?
I'm sure he would, but it'd have to be that player that could take him over the top.
Well, not a player, just knowing he would definitely win the Super Bowl, but he had to give up some of its net worth.
He's almost 80 years old.
Would he give up 20%, 25% of all he owed just to have the other Super Bowl?
If you got $1 billion, they said it's worth almost $10 billion.
Yeah.
So he would give up 20%. I would think.
A couple of $1 billion. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. He didn't get that rich by being stupid either. I don't know if he do that or
You
not.
got to remember, he has businesses outside of football.
Sure.
That are pretty successful.
Yeah, but they're successful because he's smart about his money. And I know he's a big Dallas fan, and I know he wants Dallas Cowboys to win and all that good stuff. But with the money they're spending right now, which is a lot of money, I think Dallas is close to being over the cap right now. I'm not sure.
I think they have some space, and they'll have more because Elliott's. This is the last year of his contract.
Right.
And I think they'll have more, and they didn't really spend a lot with Michael Gallup to get him re-signed.
I thought they signed big money on that rookie they got, the couple of rookies they got. I think they signed to a decent deal, Jim. I'm not sure. I could be wrong, but anyway, I think Jerry Jones wants to win, and he wants the Dallas Cowboys to win, sort of like Robert Kraft. And sort of like a couple other managers out there, and maybe they won't go over the cap.
I'll never forget this about Jerry Jones. He said that there's only 10 or 12 owners in the NFL that truly want to win championships.
Yeah, I believe it.
I mean, I believe what I'm not saying what he's saying isn't true. I just find it so hard to believe you can own a sports franchise and not be highly motivated to win. That's one thing that actually disappoints me a little bit about Michael Jordan. We hear about all his legendary competitiveness. No one's more competitive than MJ. But as an owner, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen him wanting to win so badly.
I mean, you could be right, man. I mean, listen. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that buy these football teams because they know they're going to make money, and that's all they care about. I mean, they own a team. It's it's something to brag about to their friends and to everybody else, and they make millions of dollars to billions of dollars a year, and that's all they care about.
I meant to ask Jim this
question. Here's the thing. Can I say this first? We got two iconic franchises, the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions. And their history, I mean, you look back in history, they were great teams. But at this point, how much do they really want to win? Because and that's just the question I'm asking when you say that. And they're still going to make money because they're in great cities for football.
It's a great question, Jim. It's a great example.
So, Jack, you have a question?
Yeah, this is an interesting question. It just popped into my head now. It's always bothered me. You earned your Super Bowl rings, Jim. You earned it through hard work on the field. How do you feel about an owner giving his friends Super Bowl rings, giving his close associates? First off, I wouldn't take it if I wasn't a player. I would be too embarrassed. I mean, I wouldn't put a Super Bowl ring on my finger and I didn't play. I mean, but as a player, doesn't it bother you that you're in an exclusive club? You earn this, and the owner's giving out Super Bowl rings to someone else. I'm not saying Jerry Jones has done it, but I'm sure he has because other owners have.
But there's a lot of things to making a football team go. There are people in the background that deserve them and that we don't even hear about. And obviously, secretaries, administration people who help things go smoothly, people who in the travel industry, who do our preparation for travel. They deserve this because they've worked too. People see the product on the field, but there's people in the background that also do work.
But they're part of the team, and they're part of the group, the team. Okay, I give you that. But someone who has nothing to do with the team, they're just a business associate otherwise.
It's their option. That's the
Yeah,
option.
it's his team, right? It's his team.
Deal, yeah.
And why worry about it? You know what you did. You know what you did on the field, and you know why you're earning it. Folks, we got to get out of here. Thanks for joining us. Another great show with a lot of views, a lot of comments. We love that happening. Jack and Jim, of course, always great co-hosts. There's no one I'd rather be co-host with than Jim and Jack on a regular basis because they got so much knowledge and they got so many good points, even when they're wrong. So, folks, we'll be back again on the Mac and Jack Sports Show on Thursday. Again, watch Jim on J&B Talking Shop on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Jack will be on Monday on Glove Fist, and he also does his own podcast. We'll give you all information on that. Check us out on Roku. Check us out on YouTube.